Welcome back to Great Scott Marcus. Mark, a bit of a milestone here. We're on episode 25.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And my eyes looked really weird when I looked at you like that.
You kind of sound a little far away. I'm not sure if it's me or you. Is your mic working?
When I was talking to Jenny on Skype, she said that this is about my regular mic distance. Maybe give yourself a bit of volume.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I can hear you. Like, here's fine. It just sounds slightly different than last time.
Odd.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and take a look at my equipment here. Okay, I looked at my equipment. Nothing has changed. No, actually, let me make sure that is the snowball. Speaking of the snowball, this is actually going to be changing. Audio Technica. And,
very nice.
It came with this extension arm. It's going to be a birthday gift for Christmas, but the thing about it is, like, my parents need another idea, and I was just like, well, I need a microphone because this one causes a bit of a popping here and there. And they, of course, understandably weren't comfortable picking it out. So I picked it out. So, yeah, that's going to be one of our rambles, potentially Christmas excitement. So, like, that actually has me pretty excited for Christmas. That and actually gift giving. I'm not a person that I don't see my. I'll get to it. We'll get to it. Anyway, welcome back to Great Scott Marcus. I'm Scott, and that one's Mark, here on Ramble Entertainment on YouTube. This is a show where we like to have these small topics we call rambles, and then we have a big topic at the end, so you get basically 4 different segments of a whole episode in a week. Mark, I'm in pain. How you doing?
Doing okay. I'm not in pain, so sorry to hear that.
It sent me home from work an hour early, so we get to record this a bit earlier.
That's good. Yeah. How is work going? Aside from pulling all sorts of
that was a bit much.
Did you volunteer? Or were they like, hey, we need you?
So here's kind of how it went. So me and the other new guy who basically covers shifts were there today, and we were talking, and we were talking about this one person, how they get their schedule, but then they need like every shift covered.
Oh yeah,
but not like covered. Like they kind of want to swap or move around.
Right.
And it's just like, damn, you need to sit down with the scheduling person and get this figured out.
Yeah, it's best to kind of get those days requested off before the schedule comes out, because then you're either gonna fuck somebody else or whatever.
So, I mean, like, I'm fine, covering people. That's what we're there for. But, yeah, it was a bit much for me in a literal sense, because this was the first time I've worked 4 days in a row in 4 years. And so, yeah, if you hear some jingling and jangling in the background, that's me, Mom. She is decorating a Christmas tree in the background, so you might hear some shouting, you might hear a bird. It happens. I live in a house with other beings. So yeah, they called me in on Thursday, and or they asked if I would come in. So they're everybody there's pretty understanding, which is nice. They're pretty polite about things, and I was in a lot of pain. I went to therapy, and I told the one nurse, I was just like, I'm thinking about telling them to piss off. Not in a literal sense. I wouldn't do that because they're nice people. But, yeah, I was in a lot of pain. But I went in anyway, and then the one girl had an exam moved. So she needed that shift covered, and I was just like, well, can you swap me for Saturday? Can you swap me for Sunday? And she couldn't. And I was just like, well, can you ask Ryan? Can you ask other people? And of course, like, she had asked all of them, and I was just like, do everything you can, and at the last minute, I will take this shift from you.
Yeah.
And so I took the shift, and then I switched one with her. But either way, yeah, I worked a ton, and I haven't done this in a long time, and I'm gonna die now. So it's been fun. This has been Great Scott Marcus. Now it's just going to be Mark.
The Mark show.
Mark, enjoy your show. I'll catch you guys in another life.
Peace. Come back.
I don't wanna. All right, so Yeah, so that's been a lot of me. I have also like really been. So here's one. Let's see. So we want to talk about Rogue One. We want to talk about some Christmas excitement. That can probably be squeezed into a hype train.
Makes sense.
Definitely want to talk about how the word cyberspace is dumb. So condensing those two into hype train, cyberspace.
You're trying to figure out when we're gonna take a break.
No, I'm just thinking about. So like there technically that makes 4 rambles. I want to talk about YouTube. I don't care about my pain. I care about my pain, but I'm going to talk about that another time. So the first topic, the first ramble, since we have nothing figured out for this episode.
That's why these are fun. Have nothing, planned out. It's just going to be a whim. We've got ideas.
And we don't even have graphics. I'll slap those in at the last minute.
Fuck them.
I want to talk about YouTube.
Okay.
And this actually has been being brought up by a lot of popular YouTubers as of late. I'm sure you've even
saw the PewDiePie, the dude that's got like 50 million subscribers now, and kind of trolled everybody. Says, I'm going to delete my account once I get 50 million subscribers.
That wasn't it.
Because I guess from what I read, he had some beef with YouTube and how the treatment of some YouTubers and their subscriptions, and I guess they've made all sorts of changes. I don't know what those changes were. I didn't really care enough to get into it.
Then you should let me talk.
Yeah, that's just what I know of it. So go ahead and fill in those blanks.
So you're right about. So yeah, PewDiePie did the thing. He basically his end goal seemed to be not only being a troll, but kind of frustrating the people at YouTube. That seemed to be his end goal because he makes them a lot of money. He makes himself and them a lot of money. And he probably wanted to put them into a panic, and I'm sure he did. And the reason he wanted to do so was because a lot of YouTubers are losing subscribers, not because they're unsubscribing. So, like, PewDiePie is a very popular YouTuber. H3H3 is another very popular YouTuber, which is elite speak for hee-hee. And hee-hee was unsubscribed from PewDiePie. Not intentionally, and maybe it was. Maybe it was a whole troll thing. But they both sound like they're being honest people about it. Like he was just like, I was unsubscribed from him, and I did not mean for that. That was, I did nothing to do that.
He didn't physically
click
the unsubscribe button.
And maybe it's because I'm posting a lot of content that people aren't interested in. Maybe it's because people subbed because I did the War Within playthrough, and then they didn't want the extra content. But right now, the statistics on YouTube for our channel show that only one person has unsubscribed when 3 people have unsubscribed, because that number is very important to me right now. And the statistics just aren't showing that.
Right.
And that is pretty shiesty. And like a lot of these big YouTubers have even come out and said, like, what about the little guys? Like, all of their numbers really mean a lot to them, especially if they're really trying to build something. And I was just
us,
like,
for example.
well, yeah, and but like we had been gradually building from episode to episode. I had been, every video we were posting was another subscriber since the War Within playthrough, and that was awesome. But for the first time, I posted 4 videos this week and we lost 3 subscribers. And there really is this kind of gut-wrenching visceral feeling, because it's not a thing where it's like there are dislikes. It's not a thing where there are comments about what we're doing wrong.
Right.
We're losing this thing that I've been building up, and I don't want to talk out my ass here. I'm not losing the YouTube channel. I'm not you know, like, oh, the other 73 people and the typical 40 viewers who actually watch the videos don't matter. Those 3 subscribers have ruined us. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that typically you want positive feedback, and that's what we had been getting. And then suddenly now there's this negative feedback, even though I'm doing the exact same thing. So it's kind of just like,
even if it's not intentional negative feedback, but just the to see the number go down after posting something and trying to create content for people to, you know, give the positive, oh, a +1 subscriber instead of a -1, -3. Yeah, I can see that being frustrating.
So yeah, and so obviously one person has unsubscribed, and there could be a plethora of reasons for that. It could just be this isn't actually what they were interested in, and you know, they just wanted to give props for The War Within or whatever. And of course, that stuff's understandable. If it was 3 people who actually unsubbed, that stuff is understandable. But I do actually, you know, like, really see these guys' point, you know, actually being in these shoes. It's like, wow, that really does hardcore suck. As a lower tier, as like the lowest tier YouTubers.
Well, even if like they've got, you know, millions of subscribers, I'm sure they still, you know, make, you know, a mental note of like, oh wow, I just lost 10,000 subscribers in a day. What the fuck's happening?
Yeah,
or even like 1,000. You know, that might be you know, easily noticeable. You know, and I think that'd be kind of weird. I'd imagine, you know, if you have 50 million and all of a sudden you're like, why is this number going down? It doesn't make any sense.
Indeed. Yeah, like even PewDiePie said, he's just like, typically on my video blogs I'm doing 1 million views, and now we're at 200 to 300,000.
Oh really?
And it's just, yeah, and
wow.
And that's I'm sure there are bots. I'm sure there are unused subscription accounts. I'm sure there are subs that are the same person. You know, you have 2 or 3 YouTube accounts.
Right.
I have 2. And so it's just like that stuff's important. And I'm sure that it is some more transparency would be nice on both ends, where it's just like, this person has 3 million subs, but really it's only like 2,100,000 because you know, the rest of them are bots and doubles.
Or like dormant accounts where you get on, you subscribe, and then you never sign on for another, you know, 2 years. Like, I can see YouTube going like, okay, this account is just doing nothing here, taking up space. Just get rid of it. But if they're not saying that can be really annoying. But
then obviously there's an onus on YouTube to tell people if that is what's going on. And there are people who are saying that is what's happening, and that that's what's happening, and YouTube simply isn't saying that. And that's another one of those, you know, like, visceral reactions, off the cuff reactions. And it's just like, well, if that was happening, why wouldn't they say that? Like, that actually doesn't sound like a bad thing, even for like top tier YouTubers, top tier, mid tier building, you know, tiers that are building. Like, it just, that sounds like a good thing, even when shining a negative light on it. Like, so what is really happening? Because honestly, if that's it, then they're embarrassing themselves from a business standpoint. Google and YouTube have now embarrassed themselves because they could have simply said, like, this is what's happened. Like, that's a really simple thing. And this notion that, like, that's actually what's happening does seem dumb and superficial, that is what everyone is jumping to. And I think there is something else. Maybe there is actually something that is quote unquote broken, but obviously YouTube still works. But either way, something is awry with it.
What's kind of funny is I think Twitter does, you know, similar things. You know, I've been floating between 340 and 350 followers for the past, I don't know how long. And, you know, there's days where it's like I'm up in that number, and days where I'm down. And, you know, when I get an ad, you know, someone starts following me, I can, you know, look at the profile, and it's generally spam. So it's just like, when I see that number go up and down, you know, it's kind of my mind going, well, it's more than likely those spam accounts just got, you know, axed by Twitter because they are spam. But again, that's only 300 some followers, and I can check every single one of them. When you've got millions of them, you can't really check like, okay, I'm going to check every single one of these subscribers, the 700 that did it in one day. You can't really go through all that, on the creators end. So I think YouTube has a responsibility to say, okay, here's what we asked, here's why.
Especially if it's like one of these algorithms that's just like,
right.
It's not people
oh my God,
doing
these algorithms are taking over the world.
Well, that's the so disappointed face. So like,
it just annoys me anymore. I mean, it's everywhere, and you can't really.
What an algorithm is it's a human process, but it's a human process by which humans are being lazy and not hiring other responsible humans to take responsibility for doing something that could be meaningful, like unsubscribing particular accounts I don't use the Ramble Entertainment account for anything else. I don't subscribe to anything. I don't do any of that. I can imagine if I subscribed to something with Ramble Entertainment and then, didn't visit that channel at all. Yeah, that is kind of that's facetious. It's a facade. It's not really. It's not real. It's not like a real viewer. It's not a real subscriber, and it's just kind of like. I think that is important, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And again, it's just this notion of just like, if you implement this algorithm that even if it's just an algorithm that's just removing the bots and the extras that just don't do anything, then say that, because what about that actually is really that bad? Like,
I mean, algorithms are everywhere, and any kind of social media content you look at nowadays, it's usually it's operated by an algorithm. It's basically saying, all right, here's what it looks like you're looking at. Here's what you're into. So we're going to show you those things, whether it's
and I want to be clear, that isn't intelligence. That's not AI. That's just computer processes.
That's math.
And exactly, and that is exactly why we're still actually pretty far away from proper artificial intelligence, is because to demonstrate intelligence, it has to actually be thinking and doing things of its own volition. And obviously these algorithms just function. They just do their thing. And like, again, it's just like, if that's actually what was happening, there would be nothing wrong with saying that, which is why it's just like, obviously Google and YouTube have made it this far, not because they're stupid. So like, obviously this kind of sucks, because oddly we're actually experiencing it, which is something I didn't think would happen, or at least my best guess is that whatever is happening around YouTube is actually seemed to happen on our channel over this past week. But oh well, keep trucking.
Do anything about it.
And that's the other point I wanted to land on that I let slip, but now have back in my mind. Like, people who are doing this right aren't stupid either. So like, if I watch somebody's videos and they're getting like on average between, let's say, 250 and 500,000 views per video, and yet they have 2 million subscribers, like, I can put 2 and 2 together. And I'm not saying that all of those 2 million are all of those 2 million aren't wrong. Obviously different strokes for different folks. So like, one video might hit for part of that audience, and another hits for another part of that audience. But come on, like 2 million for only like 200,000 views. Like, obviously there's something,
a little bloating going on in the subscription base.
And that's also the other thing. Like, subscribers might get you partnerships and stuff, but what gets you money from YouTube is actually views. It's a lot of it's view dependent. So if your views go uninterrupted, then where's the problem? Anyway, so and obviously views are getting interrupted. So so let's move on to the next ramble.
That was a nice organic ramble.
It was something.
Oh.